What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we got a 2019 Land Rover Discovery. If you have a Range Rover, procedure is similar. So we're doing the rear brakes. I did change the brake pad on this passenger side. This is what they look like. So I got me a little experiment here. So we don't need a scan tool. I tried a scan tool, did not work. You have to spend $900 to update it. But the brakes are locked. Don't worry about that. And I tried to turn the parking brakes off like I usually do on Hondas, but that didn't work on this vehicle. As soon as you turn off the key, it engages the brakes automatically. So the brakes are locked in. We're not worried about that either. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the tools you're gonna need and the procedure you're gonna use. So pretty much we're gonna open up the cups here. This one here, and then there's another one right there. Let's put that to the side. We're gonna need an Allen key to remove this and to this. But before that, I do not have a brake sensor because I was not aware that this car comes with a brake sensor. So we're gonna try to save this brake sensor right here. So before that, let's just try to disengage so it's not being stretched. So all you're gonna do is just yank on this sensor softly. Sometime from being so old, okay, it's pinching against a rotor. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna disengage the brakes a little bit, so that way we don't damage the sensor if it's possible to save this sensor. So let's start off by taking off this connector on this actuator right here. This is the electronic brakes right here. That's the whole system. So we're gonna disconnect this connector right here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, if you want to get a flathead screwdriver, that'd be better, but I'm using this tire plug tool here. So just push back on this white retainer right here, and after that you're gonna squeeze this retainer to remove this connector here. Okay, putting this back is not going to be so easy, so I would suggest you put a little bit of lubrication here, and then it will slip on right much better. Take off this grommet right here, let this thing hang over here. You're not doing anything to this connector anymore. So what we're going to do next is we're going to remove the two screws that holds this caliper in. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to take off this little guy right here. This is number 7mm Allen here. You're going to turn it counterclockwise. If you're looking from the back, it'd be counterclockwise. So turn this guy. It's gonna be a little bit rough because of the rubber. So putting a little bit of lubrication when you install it, be a little bit easier for you. Okay. What I'm gonna do is, you don't need to take this off, but I like to take it off, put a little bit of lube here, then it can slide in and out better. Okay, that's that. We're gonna take this 7mm Allen and we're gonna put it right down here. Okay, this is where we're gonna go. But you're not gonna be able to put your wrench on it. That's the little trick dealer uses. So you can't do it at home. So if you get a number 7mm, since this is 7 fits on 7, just like that. So what you're gonna do is get another extra wrench, so you can put a wrench on a wrench, gives you better leverage. Put this right there. Let me bring the camera a little bit down. And we're gonna put a wrench on a wrench to give us better leverage. And we're gonna turn, I'm going the wrong way. So we're gonna turn this counterclockwise. We're gonna give it a few turns. Once this loose enough, you're gonna use the open end side. And you can pull this back a little bit and just keep turning it. Okay, so this is almost out. Once it's loose enough, you should be able to turn it by hand and pull out this little guy. Okay, so the caliper, everything is loose, it's ready to come out. Since the brakes is the actuator is grabbing it, this car does not release it for you. So what I'm gonna do is, while this is on here, I'm gonna give this thing a power with my jump box. Okay, so I got my jump box here. So I got my leads connected. This is positive over there, and I got a negative over here. So that's the whole setup right there. That's the reason why you don't need a scan tool. You're probably not gonna have the update software anyway, because this is a 2019 model. But anyways, what I'm gonna do here is, right from back over here, let me get my light. What I'm gonna do is, inside here, there's 2 pins. If you have 3 pins, don't engage it, don't do anything, leave it alone. But it's a 2-wire connector, so it has 2 wires. There's 2 pins in there. So we're gonna put positive, negative, and feel the caliper. If you're going the wrong way, if you're tightening it, if the caliper is engaging the brakes, it's not gonna make any sound. So I want you to stop. All you do is reverse the polarity, put positive and negative the opposite way, and then feel the caliper. That's what we're gonna do. Good job. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is put positive and negative to disengage this little guy. Okay, it doesn't want to disengage because I need to reverse the polarity here. So if you touch this, you're gonna get a spark. That's okay, just try not to connect it inside like that. So be careful. You see my hands are shaking because it's really tight inside there. You see that? The actuator is disengaging. So I'm gonna stop there for a few. Okay, I said the word stop. The camera stopped. So is it recording? Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we should be able to push this caliper now. Let me come outside. Even though the actuator turned, but the piston is still compressed. So if you push on the piston, just like you would do to a regular caliper, it's gonna start to move. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna come out of here a little bit, and we're gonna remove this little guy. So you could use a flathead or something similar to this. Take off this little retainer. I am gonna show you how to put this. There's a small little trick how to put this guy. Okay, that's that. And we should be able to take out our whole caliper. So we do have our brake sensor over here, which is taking beating, just almost taking beating. So I'm gonna need help here from my friend here. He's gonna hold the caliper for me. And what I'm gonna try to do is take out the sensor. Try not to break it softly. Oh my God, yeah, that's how it is. Not easy. So he does not have a brake light, but if he had drove probably another day, and if he's lucky, it'll continue. But as soon as this thing gets ripped, it's just a wire coming and wire going. As soon as this thing smacks on the disc here, it cuts it, throws out indication that your brake pads are low. Okay, this guy is out. What we're gonna do here is, let it go, I got it. And the sensor comes out. We're gonna put the caliper up here, up on the top, so we don't stretch the brake line. Okay guys, so what we're gonna do next is, we're gonna bring this right over here. I have my friend here to help me. So you're gonna need a compress tool. Usually C-clamp on a regular cars work good, but this one is plastic. You don't wanna put a C-clamp. So try to get a tool similar to this, and just have it there. Do not squeeze it, because if you squeeze it, your actuator is not gonna go back, okay? So right now, as the motor turns, the thing, it releases the piston and you're able to push this. So I'm gonna have my friend help me here. I'm gonna take one light so I can see, and I'm gonna do the same thing in the back end of this, and I'm gonna be putting wiring right in the bottom. So let me bring the camera down a little bit lower. So all I'm gonna be doing is, down here, I'm gonna do the same thing. Positive, negative, switch the polarity if I need to, but other than that, everything should be sane. So I am gonna need my light here so I can see inside the connector there. All right, so here goes nothing. One thing you notice, I did not just let it go all the way back. I like to release it slowly, let it come out, because you don't want it at the end. You got gears inside, you probably got a belt on the Hondas that has a belt inside. And if you keep going, it's gonna stretch the belt and you're gonna damage the belt. So we don't want that. Okay, so here goes nothing. Let me just take a real quick look. Squeeze.
It's coming up.
Okay, it's coming out. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna reverse the polarity. That's how simple it is. If you feel this is coming out, it's not going in, you just gotta reverse the polarity.
Staying still.
Try, squeeze it. Okay, see, it's correct. It might just look like. Hold on, let it go. Squeeze. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's silent, it's not making too much noise, but I kept low voltage. This is 12 volts in my jump box. Squeeze.
Yep.
Squeeze.
Yep.
Squeeze.
All the way.
I think I'm gonna leave it there. If once I'm complete putting the pads in and I do not have enough clearance for the brake pad, I'm gonna do a little bit more. But right now, we're gonna just leave it here.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's time for us to put the brakes in. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna clean a little bit here. It doesn't have to be super clean because we're not gonna eat off this guy. Okay, that's it. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put the brake pads in. So the brake pad with this little guy goes on the inside, and that's the brake pad we took off the brake sensor from. So that's where the brake sensor goes. So what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of greasing right there because that's the contact point on the bracket, and you smack this guy in just like that. Make sure it doesn't fall. Second brake pad, these are original brake pads. You have to remove this 3M cover for the tape. No greasing on the pads like you always see on me doing on Hondas because this is already sticky. So next step, a little bit of greasing here, a little bit of greasing right there, and this brake pad sticks right in there. After that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our caliper here. You see my brake line? Try to twist it back so it's not curled up, and let's see if we have enough clearance for these brake pad. There you go. That was just more than enough right there. So if your brake pads the caliper did not go into the brake pad, you might have to compress the piston a little bit more. So give it power a little bit more and compress it. Okay. Next step, put a little bit of greasing over here because this thing does slide in and out. This doesn't slide out, but the caliper itself slides back and forth. Just a tiny bit. So a little bit of greasing here. You don't have to go crazy. Stick this guy in. And I'm going to do the same thing in the bottom. For the bottom pin, same thing for this one. A little bit of greasing. You take this little guy and stick it right in there. Next step, you take your Allen. What I want you to do is I want you to catch the threads first because you do not want to put the ratchet on and strip the threads. Then you're gonna have to replace this whole piece. You're gonna have to run to the dealer, pick that up. They're most likely gonna sell you the whole caliper. So once you grab the threads, you can see the screws coming through, you're good. You're gonna do the same thing in the bottom. Same thing, catch the threads, even if you want to stick it as much as it can go in. Okay, same thing here. Okay. Next step, take your ratchet. Make sure you tighten this really good. I do not have torque specs because nothing is available for this vehicle. Only dealer might be able to help you out with that. Okay, that's it. For the bottom one, you're gonna do the same thing. Like it's a reverse procedure now. Earlier we took it off. Now you're gonna tighten it. Go. So let's put our wrench on. So it's going to be a wrench on a wrench, and I'm going to tighten the crap out of this little guy, and that's it. Put this cup back on. I think I dropped the second one. I'll find it in a moment. Oh, there you go. Here's my second cup for this. This is just a safety so no rust, water, salt get in there. So you're gonna see this is spinning, but the opposite side is not spinning. What we're gonna do next is you're gonna take your sensor. Make sure your sensor goes right through where it's supposed to be. Other than that, you're gonna hit the wheel. Make sure it sticks into the routing. This has a small little metal retainer. Make sure that's present there, and then you just stick this little guy in. Bada bing, bada boom. You're all done. Don't forget this little guy. This guy goes in. Like I said, if you cannot get this connector in, put a little bit of lubrication there. Make sure this goes click. The opposite side was not clicking on me, so I put a little bit of lube on it. It should not come out. And then push the white retainer. All done. This is all done. We still need to calibrate this. Calibration is something so simple. I'm gonna show you that. But let's finish out. This retainer, stick one side in, stick the other side in, and this side right here, you just lift it, push it across. There you go. It's all done. Take your older brake pad, give it a tap, give it a tap, and you're all done. That's it. Now we're gonna bring the car down, but let me show you. This is spinning. The other side, the wheel is not spinning because the brake is engaged. So all you need to do is go. We're gonna bring this car down. Let me put the wheel on. Okay, so now we're gonna bring this car down to calibrate our actuators, which is very simple. As you can see, originally when we started, the brake was engaged. So this one is open, but this one is locked. Don't worry about that. We're gonna bring this car down. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Just don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, so we have successfully finished out the brakes. Procedure is the same thing on this side. Only thing is this side does not have a sensor. That's the only difference there. So that side is a little bit difficult. So now what we need to do is just get in the car. Do not press the brake. Put the car in accessory. Once you're on accessory, press the brake a few times. And after that, turn off your brakes. Turn on your brakes. Turn off your brakes. Turn on your brakes. Turn off. And turn back on. Do that 4 or 5 times. And you're all set. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one.